This episode is being brought to you by the third annual Voices of Dentistry Dental Podcasters Summit, scheduled for January 25th and 26th, 2019 in beautiful Scottsdale, Arizona. Come meet, mix, and mingle with all of your favorite dental podcasters in one place. Your hosts are none other than the Dental Hacks, Dr. Alan Mead and Dr. Jason Lipscomb, as well as my buddy, Dr. Justin Moody from the Dentists, Implants, and Worms podcast, and myself, Dr. Mark Costas from the Dentalpreneuer podcast. So if you guys have never been to this event, it is so much fun. There will be karaoke, there will be a DJ, there will be cocktails, there will be great food, but more importantly, there is a huge amount of interaction. Imagine an event where you have 100% access to all of the speakers, to all of the podcasters. You get to be interviewed by your favorite podcaster. You can watch as they interview experts from the profession. It is just a ton of fun. So let me go over just a partial list of our awesome speakers lineup. We have Dr. Corey Glenn, Dr. Baron Grutter, Dr. Stephanie Zeller, Dr. Bruce Baird, Vicki McManus, Dr. Paul Etchison, Dr. Sully Sullivan, Dr. Payman Raisi, Dr. Paul Goodman, Dr. Russell Kirk, Dr. Aaron Elliott, Dr. Tarun Agarwal, T-Bone himself. We have Dr. Mike Frymouth. We have Reese Harper. We have Mr. Brian Kaleo from the Dykema Law Firm. We have Dr. Jameson Spencer. We have Dr. August de Oliveira. We have Dr. Danny Domingue. We have Sandy Pardue. We have Rachel Wall. We have Dr. Josh Austin and Dr. Lance Timmerman. We have Gary Takish, and we have Dr. Dave Maloney. Now, I may have left somebody off, but just think about it, guys. This is a stacked lineup. There's going to be so many great presenters. And like I said, the best part about this whole thing is the interaction and access to all of the speakers. So don't miss this one, guys. If you want to attend, the tickets are going fast. All you have to do is go to voicesofdentistry.com to register. All right, guys, look forward to seeing you in sunny Scottsdale, Arizona, January 25th and 26th, 2019.
The Dentalpreneur Podcast. Okay, doctor, it's time to put down that handpiece. You're listening to the show dedicated to helping dentists get their lives back. It's time to decrease your stress, increase your profitability, and regain your passion. Now introducing your host, Dr. Mark Costas.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Dentalpreneur Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Mark Costas. We have a very smart gal on the line with us today. We have an orthodontist. Her name is Dr. Amanda Wilson, DDS, MDS, and she is the founder and CEO of StraightSmile Solutions. How are you doing today, Amanda?
I'm doing well, Dr. Mark. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for agreeing to doing this interview with me today. I'm jealous. You are in Hawaii. You are located in Honolulu, correct?
That is correct. I feel really blessed to be here, but you know what? Every place is awesome when you get a chance to visit it. So for sure, if anyone's in town for ADA, give me a buzz.
Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. Okay. So let's start off with your history in dentistry. Usually when I request a bio, I just get, maybe a paragraph, but I have a lot of information here about you, like probably more than most people know about most people because I got your CV and it's an extremely, extremely impressive CV. So why don't you tell us about your history in dentistry and how that led you to founding this company called StraightSmile Solutions?
For sure. So, I went to UCSF for dental school, which was awesome and amazing. Moved on to University of Connecticut, UConn for ortho. Mm-hmm. And then from there, moved back to my hometown, which is San Francisco East Bay, practiced clinically for 10 years, both in DSOs and private practice. My husband was my classmate. We sat next to each other in anatomy lab and, on the bench, since we're both W last names. So awesome. I've had the blessing and honor to be able to work alongside him at times. He's a GP. So I guess a couple of things got me to kind of move towards StraightSmile Solutions and away from private practice. But number one was definitely, just to be kind of straight with you, I was in Silicon Valley during the tech boom and the tech bust, and during the big acceleration of Invisalign. And I started to see a lot of my aligner patients and even braces patients kind of migrate towards the general dentist. And I think the knee-jerk reaction is to get frustrated and mad, but I had so many friends who were general dentists, and really a lot of them were doing really great work. So I figured I started helping them because it helped me get referrals, but also I enjoyed it and I enjoyed teaching. So, and my husband and his friends and then their friends, and it started to turn into a career. And I don't know how many, especially female dentists, I don't know how many people who are kind of in that marriage with another dentist. It's really, really hard if you have kids to have two careers going at one time that are that kind of 8 to 5 career thing. Yeah. Because I know for us it was, and I think this is just really real, and a lot of people are in this situation and they get it. Okay, so today we're both working. I have $30,000 in production on my schedule. He's got $15,000 in production on his schedule. I've got 100 patients. He's got 20. Kid is sick. Kid has the flu. Nanny won't watch him. Who stays home? Who cancels their patients? And it was just always so much stress for us because with a couple kids, it happens. Yeah. And we finally said somebody needs to give, and I wasn't willing to give up my career entirely, and I don't think he wanted me to, but this is kind of what it turned into. And, I'm always that person with ADD who doesn't like to get stuck in a box either. I can't just be in like a little 2x4 cell seeing my patients. I love to travel and speak and educate. So it ended up being kind of a blessing.
Oh, that is awesome. So I love the entrepreneurial spirit. I love that you said you have a little bit of ADD tendencies. I do the same, which I think a lot of great things, if you can harness that energy, I think a lot of great things can come from ADD and the ADD tendencies, OCD as well. But but tell us about the transition from California to Hawaii. How did that go down?
Well, I think anyone who is from an Asian family, and I'm not, but my husband is, he's probably going to love that I'm telling this story. But, there's a lot of us that are out there. You have to come home to take care of your parents at a certain age. So that was just something that we were obligated to do. He moved his practice there. I decided that it wasn't worth my time to get my license there because they have ridiculous licensure rules in Hawaii, and there's no licensure by credential for specialists. There's all sorts of rules. So I said, forget it. I'm going to do my own thing, and hopefully I'll have a great time doing it. So luckily it's been a blessing, and I love living here. So
you don't practice at all clinically?
Not at all. I still have my license in California, and I still could theoretically, but right now I've been busy enough just doing what I do.
Oh, that is awesome. Well, congratulations, because I've stepped aside from clinical stuff as well. I dip my toe in it here and there when one of my associates needs a break or is going on vacation, or we're transitioning somebody out and then back into another practice or something like that. But I have stepped away from my primary source of income being clinical dentistry. So I know that is a big step, even if you're a two-income family, because what most people don't understand is, being on the lecture circuit, coaching, consulting, there's a whole lot of gap between what you could potentially earn as a coach and consultant. And it takes years to build up that portfolio before you could take over even an average clinical position, the income from an average clinical position.
You're totally right.
Oh my God,
so you are totally right.
It takes a decade.
A lot of prayer. It does.
And if you're lucky, it takes a decade to get to the point where you are earning just an average clinical dental salary.
That is totally true.
But
crazy. You know what? I feel very blessed to do what I do, and I'm just going to keep at it.
Awesome. Okay. So I'm going to get back to the specifics of Smile Direct Solutions, but tell us about what got you interested in ortho to begin with, especially having your mate, your husband, being a general dentist. Did you know from the beginning that you wanted to specialize? And did he know from the beginning that he didn't?
Yeah, totally. And for clarifications, it's StraightSmile Solutions, not Smile Direct Solutions. I know
what
that's
did I call it?
Smile Direct. Yeah, a little Freudian slip there. But yeah,
I meant
I don't want anyone to get mad at me.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm not a direct-to-consumer aligner company.
Sorry.
But in any case, yeah, I totally always knew I wanted to do ortho. I don't like blood or giving injections, and he loves to do everything else that I don't like to do. So, but really that's just kind of how we got there, because he was like, okay, he loves to do implants, and, he loves to do sleep dentistry, and everything kept coming back to ortho. And he would refer, and these orthodontists wouldn't do what he asked for, and he's like, well, I can do this. This is not that hard. So, I tell him and his friends, well, sure you can. I mean, there's so many aligner programs out there right now. There's so many indirect bonding solutions out there. There's so many airway and SPV solutions out there right now. You can totally do this. You just need to know where the pitfalls are, where that boundary is that you shouldn't overstep. And he still totally refers to ortho, he knows that he needs to for the harder cases, and he feels a lot more comfortable where that boundary is. And I think a lot of other doctors, they feel the same way. They would love to do it, but they're scared because they've made mistakes before and they need support.
How do you feel about, I love the fact that you're totally honest about, your concern as a specialist with a little bit of the creep from the general dental population coming into different, modalities of orthodontia. I mean, it's got to be a significant concern now when you're selecting your specialty, because so many general dentists are getting into advanced surgeries and TMD and periodontal surgeries and, of course, ortho. So what do you feel like the future is for orthodontia and specialty dentistry in general, as somebody that sees it from both sides, from your husband's side and from a specialty side in your own household?
Yeah, I mean, you're totally right. I mean, when I first graduated in 2001, I mean, ortho was the top specialty, and I would not say it is right now. So, it's a bit of an ego blow, but, general dentists can do whatever they want, and that's their right, just like a general, a regular pediatrician can do whatever they want, or a family practice doctor can do whatever they want. They just have to do things to the level of the specialist if they're going to do it. So, yeah. That's how it is. And I think it's great for access to care, because prices and access to care is so difficult in many areas of our country, the US. Many remote areas do not have that access to a dental specialist, so the GPs have to be able to do it. So I'm okay with it. I believe in access to care. I believe in price, having affordable pricing for all different demographics. There's still, and I do believe that ortho begets ortho. So and my data shows this, that when I come in and help teams and offices to help screen their patients and teach them different procedures for doing this, they start, instead of referring 2 or 3 patients a month, they're referring 20 patients a month to ortho, but maybe they're keeping another 40 in-house, but they're really finding ways to screen every single patient for ortho or airway or anything that's ortho related, because it's just healthy for the patient.
Yeah. I love that perspective. So, okay, and this may be a dovetail or a little bit of a segue into speaking more about your company. And I'm not trying to skirt the issue here. I just really want to get a good foundation and kind of, I want everybody to hear what your views are on different aspects of orthodontia. So right now there is this really big push for digital orthodontia and people getting trained in creating their own aligners within their offices with, the advent of 3D printing and CBCTs. Not that that's necessary for digital ortho, but how do you feel about this whole, wave of training in the areas of kind of treatment planning your own aligner therapy, et cetera?
Yeah, for sure. I'll be honest, I get inquiries every day about it. And I'm by no means the expert on this. There's so many software companies and there's so many 3D printing companies, and there's so many moving parts, and every day there's something new, and it's really hard to keep on top of it. But I see a lot of people that go into it and then they give up because they kind of pick cheap options, and you can definitely do it, but right now there's no company out there that will come in and sell you all the components you need to be able to do this under one umbrella, right?
That's true.
And then the interface in between the moving parts is difficult, and people get really excited and they give up. Yeah, they buy the stuff and they give up. So
yeah, because
I think
they're like, oh my gosh, or I could just learn how to place an implant and that's done. It's not 16 months or 24 months worth of worrying about moving this case the way I want it to and refining it at the very end and making sure that everything is perfect. That's, I think, one of the big challenges for ortho and people that haven't spent 3 years postdoc studying this stuff. A weekend course isn't necessarily going to cut it.
No.
How about then, and this may be where you guys come in, how about then getting all the components that you need to do the treatment planning and fabricating the trays in-house or the aligners in-house, and then getting a little bit of consultation from a company that says, okay, help me do the treatment planning, help me plan this case. Then I can fabricate my own aligners, and it probably still would be cheaper than going with one of the major companies for the lab fee. Considering the lab fee.
It probably is, and I'll be really honest. I just went to a really great Invisalign course in San Francisco this weekend in advanced treatment planning. They can do some amazing stuff. I mean, I'm a big fan. I really am, but I'm not a big fan of the lab fee. So it's
that's
high.
That's what everybody's trying to get around, right?
It's so high. I mean, and if we're an elite patient, for sure, they're willing to drop that $6-7 grand. But and all the little stores that are opening up and these Invisalign pop-up shops and stuff like that. I mean, that stresses me out. It stresses out all the dentists I work with because no one knows what they're thinking. No one knows where they're going. And they're selling basically direct to consumer at $24.99 to $34.99 for their Signature and Signature Plus products, which is really low. And it's really hard to be an affiliated doctor with this plan because the margins are so slim.
They are.
So, I mean, they're really pushing these good doctors out. They really are. And I think they're aware of it, but they don't care. I don't really know why they're doing this. And there's got to be some reason. But yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, I think you shouldn't jump into doing all this lab operations yourself. I think you should kind of step into it, slowly. And there's different places that you can outsource, like packaging or the printing itself, and then you can make thermoform it, or the software and the treatment plan, you can outsource that. There's a million different options, variables that you can put together to find something that's comfortable for you. But ultimately, I mean, Invisalign does have the proprietary patent on some of the most sophisticated attachments and different functionalities that no one else can have. Not these different software programs and 3D printers and all that together. You can't quite make the same product. You can make an almost similar product, but it's not quite as good. So for a difficult case, you're still going to have to use braces or Invisalign. It's just you can't do it yet.
So if you are the co-founder or president or CEO of Invisalign, are you sweating everything that's happening with digital?
I don't think they are. I really don't think they are. I mean, they're growing in so many third world markets right now. And I mean, they're still extraordinarily smart, and I might be a thorn in their side at all times. And, but at the very least, they're very business savvy and their stock's always high. So, I mean, is it overinflated? Probably. But I'm going to get a couple of hate notes after this post. Sure. I mean, their reps hate me. But at the very least, I mean, but I support so many treatment plans that go in their direction. I wish they wouldn't, because we do so many cases that hurt my doctors and I, and I am a huge fan and everything. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting to see where they go. And right now the direction they're heading is in the direction of phase 1, in the direction of fixing bites, orthodontic problems. It's interesting. It's really interesting to me.
Okay, cool. Now I feel like I can ask you more about your company,
Sure.
StraightSmile Solutions. Sorry, if I said direct, I did not mean to do that. No. So tell us about what you do. Right here, it says StraightSmile Solutions is the first online portal to provide doctor-to-doctor orthodontic consulting solutions. So tell us exactly what that means and how you interface with this population of dentists that are interested in getting into ortho.
For sure. So I think what differentiates myself and my business from other ones that are out there is there's a lot of orthodontists that do orthodontic consulting. But first of all, they're only aligned with Align. And they even put that on their website. We only do Invisalign treatment plans, which I don't. I'll use any technology, any system that you want to use. I'm familiar with them all. So, you know, and obviously we need to make sure it's a good fit for that case. But, you know, any aligner solution, any IDB solution, any functional appliance solution, any airway solution, and there's like hundreds of different variables we could put together to make a great case. So that's one thing. Number two, all the other orthodontists that are doing this all have a full-time clinical practice on the side. So you're basically being squeezed into their schedule when in between patients or whenever it's available. And I open my schedule up to whatever works for you. Really flexible. Like if you click on our scheduling link, you'll find things like that work for people in Europe, times that work for people in Asia. I really try to flex my schedule, you know, to work around the schedule of a doctor and their team. So it's cool because I get to collect clients in all different areas, and it's really fun. You know, one morning I'm talking to someone in China and one morning I'm talking to someone in Europe, but I love it. And it gives me opportunity to travel too, which I love. But yeah, I mean, besides that, I mean, everything is online. It can be. So you can submit your case through a HIPAA compliant portal, get support. We can do video chat, talk about your case. We can talk about it fully through a portal. We can do it direct, come into your office and coach your team, whatever way works for you and your team, the communication. And some people are really tacky and like to keep it all within, you know, e-communication. And some people are direct person-to-person people and they want you to come out and teach them. So whatever way works for you. And I just like to be like Hawaii style, super laid back, whatever works for you works for me.
You're just rubbing it in because you live in Hawaii.
I am.
Okay. So, all right. I love this. So let's just say I have a case and I've been doing Invisalign for a number of years. I've never really gotten into super duper advanced cases, but I want to start expanding my knowledge base and expanding the types of cases that I keep within the realm of my four walls, okay, in my general practice. So we have something that I'm not totally comfortable with. How does the workflow work in contacting you? And I don't know if you want to give a range of cost, but how do we make it fit in like our profit margin plus your fee, and you know, making sure that we're still delivering the best care for the patient?
Oh, thanks for asking that. And I forgot to answer that. So my company is also the only company, and I may regret this someday for doing it this way, but I do offer unlimited packages. So I have 2 levels of unlimited packages, which is unlimited case support, 1 doctor, 1 office. The fees range between $4.99 a month and $9.99 a month, depending on how fast responsiveness you want, how quickly you want your cases turned around, what modes of communication do you want? Is it all is it, you know, video chat, whatever. But this is unlimited cases, 1 doctor, 1 office. And I mean, I have a lot of doctors that really take advantage of it. I mean, they're throwing 20, 30, 40 cases at me a week, but good for them that they're doing that many cases. And, you know, if you're making a profit of even a couple thousand on each case, I think my $499 cost is pretty negligible. Yeah, but yeah,
crazy.
I mean,
how's that scalable for you? How many people do you have looking at cases?
It is. I have a bunch of orthodontists that work with me as well if I need to. But, you know, for the most part, you know, we were pretty efficient at getting our answers out there. And, you know, the more they scale, the more comfortable they are with different cases. So, yeah, a lot of people are smart and they see the opportunity because, I mean, all the others consultants that are doing this, charging per case. And I do have that option too. I have a per case option. But I don't want you to be like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to do this case because goodness, I got to pay her for each case I do. No, I want you to be like looking at your schedule and thinking there's 20 opportunities on the schedule today and I want to make a start out of each of them. And I've had some doctors that have been GPs that have really gone from 1 case a month to 10 cases a day. You're talking 10 ortho cases a day. Now, this might be phase 1, airway kind of ortho cases, expansion, aligners, IDB. I mean, there's all different ways you can go. It could be segmented ortho to upright a tooth for implants, but it's still all in the realm of ortho. But you're talking, what's their profit margin? They're making $20,000, $30,000 extra per day just having that support. You know, that's crazy. This is a pretty negligible fee. Just to have that, I call it an orthodontist in your pocket, someone that you can ping if you just have a question about a case, or is this a good candidate? Should I even offer this? Or what do you think about this price? Or what are my pitfalls here? Should I be worried about the perio? Is this a problem? So that's pretty much how it works.
That is crazy.
It is kind of crazy.
I mean, we didn't even have a pre-chat, so I didn't even know the level of of help that you're giving. So, okay, there are a lot of, I'm going to bounce all over the place because I have ADD just like you. So if we're talking about this whole new advent of 3D technology, et cetera, and being able to fabricate your own aligners, how about that? Because we have, say, Blue Sky Bio Ortho, and their workflow involves you designing the actual case. To what level are you going to be able to help that doctor to do the treatment plan for that particular case when you're actually designing, when you're actually treatment planning the case and you are fabricating your own aligners?
For sure. Yeah. I mean, it depends on what we're doing. We can jump in and see and go into their portal, take a look at the setup, see if it's good. I do actually really enjoy, not to throw out plugs for different companies, but my recommendation, if you're looking for this, is to use, there's a company based in Arizona, and it's called Full Contour. So I really, really, really like their team. We bounce a lot of cases off each other because they actually are really good at doing the setups, and they work with their own software, but their setups are super high quality, and I can work with them in order to make sure that you got a great setup. Because navigating these softwares can be very challenging, and a lot of the softwares, they have restrictions. They will not sell to orthodontists, to general dentists, only to orthodontists. So there's a bunch of them out there that will not do business with general dentists, and those are some of the better ones. So
do you happen to know what the lab fee is for Full Contour?
I do, but they might get mad at me.
Okay, don't say it.
But because I don't know that if my fee is discounted off of, but it's very low. Let's put it that way. I think it's
cheaper than Invisalign.
Oh goodness, it's much cheaper. And if someone wants a referral over to them, I'd be glad to give it. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure Jesse and Rob and Michelle would be thrilled that I just propped them. But honestly, I just think that their treatment plans are amazing. And I like working with them, and they're efficient. They turn them around in 24 hours too. So we kind of complement each other well. But
they fabricate the aligners themselves?
No, they do not. All they do is do the digital setup.
Good.
That's the hardest part.
Yes, of course. I mean, if you have the 3D printer, you have the technology, and you're just a little shaky on the actual treatment planning, that's what people need help with. Yeah,
and honestly, then they source it out to one of like 20 different partner labs, or any partner lab. You tell them what lab you want to send it to, or if you have an in-house printer, you can send it to yourself. They'll do that too. But you have to know how to do it, and that's the hardest part, is training on the software. And I'll be honest, I don't even like doing that part. I'm not a video game player. It's like moving this little pin and no thank you. So I mean, if y'all want to do that, you do it. If they want to do it, I will do it if I have to, but it's not part of something I generally enjoy to do. I like to give advice, but I don't want to sit and play that video game.
Yeah. Do you help people with traditional ortho as well?
Oh, totally. So I mean, I was a consultant for 6 Month Smiles. I'm pretty out there about that for about 2 years. Love their product. I love their seminar. They do a great job teaching people how to do ortho. Not with them anymore, but a lot of general dentists are doing indirect bonding. It makes it a lot easier. I mean, it's all digital. It just puts the brackets exactly where it is. And if you pick the right case, that's the key. You have to pick the right case, that's appropriate for indirect bonding. It's really a matter of just slapping on the brackets the right way, putting a couple of wires in. Difference between me and them is I feel very strongly that you need to move into the rectangular wires and then eventually into a steel wire. That's just my personal practice philosophy. They stay in round. And my retention philosophy is different, but there's so many independent labs and that will do indirect bonding for you for less than $199 a case. And maybe that's without the brackets, a little bit more if you want the brackets put in. But if you're using self-ligating brackets, theoretically, you barely need to see this patient. I mean, every few months. And if you use a system like dental monitoring to be capturing the alignment as you go along and any emergencies, I mean, you can see this patient only 3-4 times total, switch wires each time, and you're done. And talk about saving overhead. That's crazy, the amount of chair time you're going to save.
Oh, my goodness. This is really, really cool. This
you're going to go back to clinical.
I know. My gosh. Well, I have 17 associates, so hopefully, / partners.
Awesome.
So hopefully that could this will percolate their interest. So tell me more about this backlash, from the potential backlash that you're getting, right? I can see how like some of the the traditional aligner therapy people would be mad at you. And I can also see,
we're talking about even my own classmates residency don't even talk to me anymore.
Yeah.
I am a bit of a pariah in my profession. I go to meetings and they just shoot me darts. But hey, I'm here just to tell you what's out there, to support everyone. We all play on a level playing field. We're all dentists. I'm not ruining the profession. Matter of fact, like I said, my clients send more cases out to ortho than they did before. So I don't know why, but actually I have a lot of orthos that I help. I give free advice to, helping to set up they're all 3D printing in their office. They all are. I mean, I've got 2 or 3 calls a day, and it's all complimentary services to my orthos that I work with. They don't pay me anything. I'm just helping you out. And in any case, if I think you're an awesome orthodontist and I like you, all the GPs I work with will send you their referrals. So it actually behooves you to be nice to me.
Yeah.
But some are, some aren't. So it is what it is.
I'm not going to ask you to comment on this, but I will just say that of all of the specialties when I was going to dental school, ortho was the most guarded. Endo was very, very open about sharing their tips and techniques for doing a quick, thorough ortho and finding that MB2 and all that stuff. Oral surgery was never really super guarded about how, the tricks to getting out the tricky horizontal impactions. Perio was always like really, really excited if anybody was interested in perio at all back then. But ortho was always like super guarded, like during that, like,
that's because it's not that hard.
Yeah.
So, and we don't want you to do that.
Okay,
so
see, I wasn't asking for that,
Sometimes it is. But for the most part, 80% of the cases is like slap them on, slap them off.
Yeah.
As long as you have a good compliance program, that's the main thing. And you have to love teens and kids, just have so much fun, be enthusiastic. But it's a really fun profession. It really is.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like for all of us in the trenches up to our wrists in spit and blood every single day and try to worry about post-op sensitivity and the surgical complications, there's never, I don't think, ever a single practitioner out there that hasn't at some point in their career fantasized about working on just teenagers and no blood and no anesthesia and the margins that ortho can potentially get. I think every single person, whether or not they're super interested in it or not, has at least fantasized about, man, that would be nice.
I mean, really, and your staff does everything. It's now with indirect bonding and digital treatment plans, you don't have to really even put gloves on. I mean, you literally are just talking. You have to be a talker.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Okay, so let's talk about entrepreneurialism. So where does that come from? Is this something that you ever envisioned when you were going through dental school and ortho residency, or is this something that evolved and you saw the opportunity and you jumped on it?
Well, to be honest, I was always one of the top Girl Scout cookie sellers in my troop. I got my gold award. I went all the way through. So I've been an entrepreneurial hustler with different little businesses all the way through. And now I'm a Girl Scout and leader as well. So I've got 10 little ones that do it. So that's kind of where that comes from. But for sure, I mean, you're always just trying to think of new opportunities, trying to reinvent yourself. Create something that makes you happy and works for your life and have quality of life. And that's pretty much where it came from.
I just heard this story not long ago about the #1 Girl Scout cookie seller in the country for the last 2 years. Have you heard about her?
I have. I think she was in back east somewhere, right?
No, Denver, Colorado.
Okay.
And you know why?
Well, it's east for me, but
you know why?
No.
So do you know anything about Denver and this whole recreational?
I know, it's the green stuff. That's
yes,
right.
Yes.
Matter of fact, my husband told me to do the same thing because we just opened a dispensary down the street.
Yes.
He's like, go sell there.
Yeah. So she put her little card table out in front of this dispensary, this marijuana dispensary, and all these people would come out with the munchies, and she was selling like cases of Girl Scout cookies at a time.
And we have one down the street. We almost did it last year. I'm thinking about it. So that's a super smart move.
Oh, man, I love the entrepreneurial spirit there. Take advantage, man.
Yeah, I know, right?
That's great.
So, you got to do what you got to do. They're delicious. So,
so tell me about your typical day then. I'm getting in more into the entrepreneurial stuff because I'm fascinated by people that make their living in dentistry, that are ex-clinicians that are no longer clinicians like myself. But traditionally, a lot of people would go into, say, fabrication, like lab work. Some people
No,
go
thanks.
into some people go into technology. A lot of people go into coaching and consulting, which I would put you in that realm as well. But you're
Yeah.
also a little bit in technology as well. So, what does your typical work day look like? Would you consider yourself a full-time, more than full-time? Are you doing more hours than when you were clinical, less hours, all that
I
stuff?
would say I'm actually doing more hours than clinical because I do travel a lot. I just came back from the Bay Area, meeting with some clients there, and on the road a lot. But my kids are older now, and they're actually thrilled to see me go. So they're like, "Bye, go, bring me back to Trader Joe's." They make shopping lists because in Hawaii we have limited food options and everything's really expensive. So,
Yeah, yeah.
back to school clothes and stuff. But yeah, I mean, honestly, it's that flexible that I can open my schedule up. Some days maybe I'm working a 16-hour day. I start at 2, 3 in the morning, always talking on the phone. And some days, I mean, my kids are competitive swimmers, and my son is nationally ranked, so we do
Oh,
travel a lot,
congratulations.
nationally and hopefully internationally soon. Thanks. So the cool thing is, it comes along with me, and no one
Mhm.
knows wherever I am, but I'm still working no matter. And I feel like I'm not a good parent because I can be there, and he could. There's no way I could do this if I was in clinical because where you're booked up 6 months in advance, for recalls, and you have to plan everything so far in advance to be able to leave the office. So I love it if he makes a qualifying time and we need to go to this event. And he's partially sponsored by Speedo now, which is cool. That
Wow.
yeah,
Awesome.
he's turning 13. I'm super excited. So yeah, so we can do that, and I think it's gonna help us out. Hopefully, he'll get some scholarship offers in a few years, and it'll be worth it. So we'll see.
That's incredible. Yeah, that's funny because my son is an elite level soccer player, and he was just actually in Hawaii earlier
What?
this year for nationals. Yeah, um,
Awesome.
and it's the same. Like my world continues whether or not I'm on the road. In fact, we just got back from a 7-day family/work trip. I spoke at UCLA and USC and Western, all three of those schools. Plus, I still kept a full call schedule the entire time we were on quote unquote vacation, and nobody knows where you are. So
Nobody knows where you are.
but I didn't work any less. I
Yeah.
do a lot of that too, starting at 4 o'clock in the morning, talking to people on the
My
East
kids are good
Coast.
too.
And
They know they have to be really quiet when I'm on calls, and they're very well trained to keep quiet. So it's
yeah,
it's very good.
that
Yeah.
is awesome. All right. So with the last few minutes, this has been fascinating. And I'm hoping
Thank
that,
you.
Amanda, that we can get on a call again and talk more specifically about some clinical stuff, maybe,
Sure.
and some more of the specifics about what you and your orthodontic, I guess, faculty, I would call them,
Mhm.
do on a daily basis. But why don't you take the opportunity to give us your contact information, how we get engaged with your company, and what the process looks like when somebody has a difficult case and they want to consult with you.
Oh, for sure. It's super duper easy. You can just go to straightsmilesolutions.com, and there's a big button in the top right. You can either subscribe now, and we turn it around in a matter of like 2 minutes. It's really fast. We just have a couple e-documents, and we get you set up in your electronic portal, and you can have an appointment within a matter of literally 5 minutes from when you sign up, if as long as it's open.
Hmm.
To if you just want to talk and see if this is a good fit for you, there's also a button just on the homepage top right that says I want to schedule a phone call. That's free. I will talk to anyone, any doctor in the world, and I literally open that up. I talk to anyone. So if you want to make that appointment, just chat. Go ahead and make it, and we'll just see if it's a good fit for you. And sometimes you just have some questions you want answered. Beyond that, there's a ton of free information that's there. You can go to our YouTube channel. There's all sorts of videos. A lot of times there's just some cool stuff to talk about, things I review, unboxing, new products. I love it. People send me products to review all the time, to try out, and there's just hundreds of videos. Some of them are funny, some of them are patient directed, some of them are doctor directed. But yeah, check that out too. And if you have something you want to learn about, let us know. We have a lot of free Facebook forums, patient directed and doctor directed, so let us know. But yeah, for the most part, it's pretty self-explanatory. It's all right there on the website.
That is awesome. Okay, one more question because it just popped into my head. So I'm not going to ask you to rate any of the clear aligner companies or anything like that. But if there is a clear aligner company that is less expensive for the lab fee than another, and then we potentially paid for you in a consulting on a consulting basis, say for your unlimited $499. So
Uh-huh.
do you think that the combination of the cheaper lab fee and your help would bridge the gap between any of the differences between the cheaper lab fee and the more expensive lab fee?
Oh, goodness. Yeah, I mean, even ClearCorrect at their $14.99, if you just drop down to that, that's you're saving you at least. Plus, they have free retainers that saves you $700 a case.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as you're doing one case a month, you already paid for it.
Yeah, because even the unlimited is $4.99, so you're still $200 in the positive. But if you do a whole other case, then
for sure. And there are no joke, probably 10 to 15 new clear aligner companies popping up, and everyone else is getting their 510s, and there's probably going to be 30 to 40 just in the US by, I would say, Q1 of next year. So you just have to really check it out, see what they are, touch them, feel them, see the treatment options, check the pricing. You have to be able to compare apples to apples. Does this one come with retainers? What's the cost for lost aligners? And it's hard to get that information. So I have most of it, but it changes all the time. So feel free to ask me and schedule that complimentary consultation if you want some suggestions on what products to use.
So that complimentary consultation could be you helping us decide which base company to go with.
For sure.
Based on those comparisons.
Some don't move molars, some only move up to premolars, some only move 3 to 3. So it really also depends on the case. So I don't really think you should have, unless, I mean, of course, Invisalign can do everything, but you're paying out the, for that price.
Sure.
If you're going to go alternative, you should have 2 or 3 depending on the complexity of each case.
Gotcha. Well, Amanda, this was awesome. I love your energy. I love the information that you put out there. I love that you don't care that some people hate you, because a lot of people hate me too. That makes me feel good about where you're at.
It's okay. As long as I'm happy about me and God and my kids and my family, that's all that matters. And I know I'm doing good ultimately.
Right on. This has been a great conversation. I hope that this is one of many, and I wish you all the best.
Me too. Okay, have a great day.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Amanda Wilson. Hey, Dentalpreneurs. Wanted to take a sec to announce an ultra-exclusive one-day event that I'm calling the One Day Practice Intensive. If sitting down with me in a group of less than 10 doctors to develop a plan to eliminate sticking points and bottlenecks in your practice, to significantly decrease your overhead and increase personal take-home income, and to finally transition from a staff-dependent to a systems-dependent practice, then this event is for you. Once again, this event is limited to just 10 doctors, and we'll be diving deep to overcome your biggest challenges and uncover your greatest opportunities in an intimate setting. We're going to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner together, roll up our sleeves, and GSD. The price is just $2,500 for practice owners, and you can bring up to an additional 3 people for $500 each, but they must be a partner, key team member, or spouse. This is all taking place Friday, December 7th, 2018 at the DSN Scottsdale facility. To register, just go to truedentalsuccess.com and hit the events tab. Because of the intimate nature of this event, and because we're limiting attendance to just 10 practice-owning dentists, this event will sell out. So don't procrastinate. Register today. truedentalsuccess.com. Go to the events tab for the one-day practice intensive. And that wraps it up for another episode of the Dentalpreneur podcast. I thank you so much for joining us this week, and we will talk to you next week. Take care now. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for joining us today on the Dentalpreneur podcast. Check out truedentalsuccess.com for full recaps of every show, a schedule of our live events, free video tutorials, and a whole host of practice building resources.